Yes, I'm with you now. I'm with you now, Lori. Let me set the scene for what happened down here. First, let me pull the shot out. We'll show you. This is Zuccotti Park, the south side of the park. Right as we got off the air at the top of the hour, we mentioned that most of the protesters were filing back into Zuccotti Park to reorganize. As they got back in the park, the police were allowing them back in. One thing that we noticed was that they weren't doing this kind of bag checks that they were doing as far as bringing gear into the park. The police seemed to be rather lenient in letting these folks back in. Once they got into the park, the protesters began to remove the police barricades that had been set up several days ago and were still surrounding the park. The police moved in, they took the barricades, they tried to push back out. It basically turned into a shoving match between the protesters and the police, and that's what you're seeing right now. Police on one side of the barricade, protesters on the other, and they're basically fighting for territory. We've seen this situation where you see that barricade now being lifted up and out of the way. They're just being moved out basically to keep people safe. What we haven't seen since the pushing and shoving began are any arrests. The police have allowed the protesters basically to push that barricade back outside the perimeter of the park, but we haven't seen anybody arrested. We haven't seen anybody injured. Lori, we're keeping a close eye on this as it develops, but right now, since early this morning when the protesters first mobilized, this is certainly the most action that we've seen from either the protesters or the police.
John, thank you for the update. Of course, we know that you'll stay up and we'll come back to you if need be. Thank you for the update. We appreciate it. Once again, protesters trying to reorganize at Zuccotti Park, but then they ended up trying to move barriers out of the way, and NYPD met them with it and became sort of a shoving match. We'll keep on top of this story as we have all morning long. We're going to return you to The View and remind you to keep it right here on ABC7. And, of course, we'll have more for you on Eyewitness News at noon.